can fly like birds. Extreme adventurers who plunge from the highest cliff faces in the world and soar through the air at 180 kilometres an hour. No jet engines, no booster rockets, just their ingenious wingsuits and a ton of guts. Oh, and a parachute to get them back to Earth safely. But there are no second chances, which makes this the most dangerous sport you're ever likely to see. And from my limited experience, the most exhilarating. They are the 21st century birdmen, rocketing past cliff faces, swooping through valleys, defying death and gravity at 180 kilometres an hour. And held aloft by nothing more than a wingsuit.
You fly like a bird, like an eagle, like a hawk, like you imagined it was when you were a kid. You streak across the sky. It's fantastic. It is personal human flight. There is nothing like it except being a bird.
We can be up there and be flying around the clouds, geeking at each other, barrel rolling, playing with the birds. That's just fun. It makes me happy.
We're able not just fly, but we're able to fly under things, flying contours of things. We can fly with cliffs and actually fly the contours of the cliffs right next to it, just like a bird would.
And is there anything that would stop you?
Being dead.
And in this sport, as you'll see, being dead can happen any time.
We're all going to die. The question is, are you going to live while you're here?
At 32, Jeb Corliss has already cut his teeth doing some of the most radical base jumps ever attempted. But now it's all about staying up there, and that means climbing into a wingsuit.
You should really be only coming out at dusk. I mean, it's really very bat-like, isn't it?
It really is more flying squirrel-like, you know, where we're really kind of gliding, which is a slightly different concept. But
okay, how's it work?
Well, basically what happens is, as the air goes into these, it actually fills up these ribs with air. And then as you move your arms and your legs, you can actually change the shape of your wing, which changes the way you fly.
And the way Jeb Corliss likes to fly, it's nothing if not spectacular.
When I was at the Christ statue, I was flying 5 feet over people's heads, about 10 feet from the actual statue itself. And then as I came over the heads and over the railing, I'd take a right-hand turn and be skimming across trees by 3 or 4 feet.
And right at the cutting edge of this brave new world are a couple of intrepid Australians.
I was the archetypal waffo, which is a waffo. A waffo is a non-skydiver. Why for you jump out of a perfectly good plane?
Up until she was 38, Heather Swan was perfectly happy with her life.
All I wanted to do was be successful in my corporate career and raise beautiful children and do all the things that we aspire to in Western life.
So what changed?
Well, I met Glenn.
He pushed you?
He pushed. No, he made me remember the dream that I had quite vividly when I was a kid.
Now, she and her doctor husband, Glenn Singleman, have turned their dreams into an all-consuming passion.
Well, I think that if more people got involved in adventure sports and more people got the level of satisfaction that Heather and I get out of this stuff, there'd be a lot less people on antidepressants.
Humans have only been able to fly like this in the last 10 years. Although the man who invented these wingsuits had been toying with the idea since he was 9 years old.
I was too young to start jumping out of something, and I was not really ready to jump with umbrella from the roof, you know, to injure myself. I choose my hamster, who will be the jumper instead of me. So.
Yes, you heard it right. Robert Petchnik used his pet hamster as, well, a guinea pig.
Yeah, I developed parachute, you know, in scale, so it fit hamster and made a harness for him.
So the hamster took a dive from the 8th floor.
He was a real bay jumper.
The hamster lived.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's
then,
an important part of the story. The hamster lived.
Yeah, it was all good.
As far as I'm concerned, the hamster has a lot to answer for. Turns out, for those who like to fly off cliff tops, there's no such thing as a free launch. First, you've got to trek. In this case, 3 hours in knee-deep snow up the side of a mountain in northern Italy. But wow, when you reach the top, all is forgiven.
No matter how much or how hard the hike is, it's always worth it.
Today, Robert is the guinea pig, testing the latest model of one of his Phoenix wingsuits.
We call it pocket plane, you know. You just fold it in a bag, come to the mountain, put it on and fly.
Both Robert and his off-sider James Boole have done this jump hundreds of times before. But every time they know this one could be the last.
Fear is good because it gives you respect. And if you don't respect them, you'll do silly things.
Just getting to the jump-off point scares the hell out of me. The cliff is icy and treacherous, so the tricky part today is to make sure you jump off, not fall off.
Ready when you're ready?
Ready, set, go!
Once you finally commit and make the decision to jump, then the fear goes away. It's like one of those things where you take the leap, then you take a deep breath, and you're doing it. So the fear subsides and you begin to enjoy it, let's say.
And then what do you feel?
Yeah, joy. So quite simply, joy. You're flying. The best part is that you're hanging by your arms, you're hanging by your legs, and you're flying like a bird. It really is that sensation, the one you dream of.
Of course, flying at fingertip distance from cliffs, waiting until the last possible moment to open your parachute can be hazardous to your health. At least 4 Australian wingsuiters have been killed in the last 6 years.
It's about trying to eliminate as many of the variables as you possibly can to make it as safe as you possibly can. And for me, I'll be honest, like, I'll say this and you won't believe it, no one ever does, but it's true. I genuinely trust my parachute system more than I trust most elevator systems.
That's from a man whose tangle with a waterfall left him with his back broken in 3 places and who's watched one of his best friends die horribly.